What if the biggest roadblock to getting justice isn't some corrupt judge or slick lawyer, but a PDF file? It sounds a little nuts, right? But in our super high-tech world, the legal industry often feels like it's stuck in the Stone Age. Well, that might all be about to change. A new report has just laid out a map for a massive overhaul. So let's dig in and see what this blueprint for a revolution is all about. Forget the old dusty rulebooks. The Singapore Academy of Law has put together a new kind of instruction manual, and it's built on a really simple idea. Yeah, the system is broken, but we actually have all the pieces we need to fix it. This report, called 101 Problem Statements, came from talking to everyone, lawyers, clients, you name it, to pinpoint the real core issues. Think of it as a roadmap for all the tech folks and innovators out there to build a legal system that finally works for everybody. Okay. So where do you even start trying to fix a system with over 100 documented problems? Well, we're going to follow the story. We'll kick things off with that huge chasm everyone calls the justice gap. Then we'll see what happens when you finally get a lawyer, only to hit a total communication breakdown. After that, we'll zoom right into the law firms themselves to tackle their data dilemma, the mountains of paperwork they're buried under, and the big one, the productivity puzzle that slows the whole thing down. All right, let's start with the most fundamental problem of all. Just imagine for a second you're a small business owner, and a supplier just completely disappears with your money. You desperately need legal help, but the thought of the costs is terrifying, and honestly, you don't even know where to begin. That feeling, that sense of being completely powerless, that's the justice gap, and it's a daily reality for millions of people. This slide just nails the core conflict, doesn't it? On the one hand, what you need from the law is pretty simple. Clear answers, costs you can actually predict, and procedures that don't require a PhD to understand. But then you look at the reality on the right. What you often get is a tangled mess of confusing jargon, surprise bills that come out of nowhere, and processes so convoluted it feels like they were designed to keep you out. And these aren't just vague feelings. They're very real barriers. Problem number 2 in the report calls out opaque legal fees. That means you could end up with a bill for thousands without having a clue what you're actually paying for. Problem 4 is that dense legal language, the legalese that just shuts everyday people out. And problem 7 points to something that sounds simple but is maddeningly hard, just finding the right lawyer for your specific problem in the first place. Okay, but let's say you somehow manage to get past all those barriers. You find a lawyer you think you can afford. You'd think your problems are over, right? Well, think again. This is often where a whole new set of frustrations kicks in. This is where we run smack into the great communication breakdown. This quote from the report really gets to the heart of it. See, when a lawyer misses a deadline, it's not just some minor inconvenience. If you're the client in a high-stakes situation, it can feel like a total betrayal of trust, one that can have massive real-world consequences for you. And then there's the billable hour. The system where you're charged for every 6 minutes a lawyer even thinks about your case. It's a model straight out of the 1950s that's still around because it's easy for law firms. But for clients, it creates this huge disconnect. You get a massive bill at the end of the month with no real way of knowing if that time was spent well. You're just left there staring at it wondering, what on earth did I actually pay for? All of this friction, all this mistrust, it leads to a massive question, doesn't it? Can technology do more than just make things faster? Can it actually help create a legal system that's more transparent and more accountable? Can tech be the tool that helps rebuild the trust that's been so badly broken between lawyers and the people they're supposed to be serving? The answer is a big yes, but it's not just about building a fancier website for clients. It's about fundamentally changing how legal work gets done from the inside out. And that brings us to the next huge opportunity, tackling the legal world's data dilemma. This slide really shows you the whole journey. First, you've got the data overload. Lawyers are literally drowning in a sea of contracts, case files, and evidence. That leads straight to step 2, the manual bottleneck, where they spend countless and very expensive hours just digging for that one needle in a haystack that could win the entire case. But step 3, that's where the magic happens, the tech opportunity. With the right tools, you can analyze all that data to spot patterns, predict what's going to happen, and build truly data-driven winning strategies. Of course, before you can analyze any data, you have to be able to find it. Which sounds simple, right? But that leads us to a problem so basic it's almost hard to believe in this day and age. The corporate paperwork nightmare. Seriously, just picture this. You're a junior lawyer on a massive case. You need to find one specific clause in a contract from 3 years ago. But, as problem 34 points out, your firm's search function is totally useless. So you spend hours, maybe even days, digging through folders.
The clock is ticking, the partner's getting impatient. This is the reality. It is a monumental waste of time and money, and it happens every single day in firms all over the world.
So let's just add it all up for a second. We've got the justice gap, the communication breakdowns, the data dilemma, the paperwork nightmare. All of these things lead to one massive overarching issue, a profound productivity problem that is holding the entire legal professional back. This chart paints a really stark picture of how a typical lawyer's day is spent. Just look at it. A shockingly small slice of their time is actually dedicated to high-value strategic work. The rest? It's eaten up by low-value tasks, 25% on admin work like billing, 20% on repetitive research, another 20% just managing emails and calls. This is all work that could and absolutely should be streamlined or automated. And let's be crystal clear about this. This isn't about replacing lawyers with robots. Not at all. It's about augmenting them with technology. The real opportunity here is to automate all the routine, repetitive stuff to finally free up lawyers to focus on the complex, strategic, and advisory work that they are uniquely qualified to do. And frankly, that's the stuff clients actually want to be paying for. So the future of law that this report lays out is one where technology makes legal services way more accessible for everyone, way more efficient for the lawyers doing the work, and a whole lot smarter in how it uses data. It's a future where lawyers are empowered to do their absolute best work, and clients are empowered to get the justice they deserve. Which really just leaves us with one final thought. This report isn't just some long list of problems. It's a call to action. It's an instruction manual for building a better system. So after seeing this whole blueprint laid out, is the legal profession really ready for a revolution? And if you were the one holding the tools, where would you even begin?